All right, Algebra 1. Let's run it back and let's do another session of notes. Let's do this. Okay, we're in section 2 today, guys. It is all about exponent properties, but this time with quotients, okay? So quotients, we're talking about division, where in the very last section, where we introed to chapter 8, we were talking about products, meaning multiplication. All right, so you're going to see some similarities, but they're going to be like these perfect opposites. All right, so products, not multiplication. We did some things. We were using addition. You're going to find today with quotients, we're going to be using some subtraction. Okay, so there still are these connections to it, but I need to make sure that first and foremost, you guys are copying down the notes. Everything that you're going to see on these pages, and I've highlighted the important things. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in to, let me move a book over here. All right, we are going to be taking a look at this first equation, and we've highlighted the key thing. All right, so that key thing right here being this example, and you're going to notice same base. All right, remember back to section 1, same base, but different exponents. In that section, in section 1, meant we were using addition because we were multiplying. But you're going to notice now in section 2, same base, okay, same base, but we're using division. So you're going to take those exponents and subtract those exponents, okay? So again, let's take a look. Same base, division, different exponents, subtract those exponents. 7 minus 2 giving us 5. Final answer here just being 4 to the 5th power. Okay, straightforward enough. Let's take a look. Another one over here, one single base, 3 over 2. 3 over 2, that's one base, brought to the 7th power. But you could actually expand that out. Think of it as, if we zoom in a little bit more here, as 7 being brought to the 3 and the 2, giving you 3 to the 7th, divided by 2 to the 7th. So one thing that's important to notice here is that both directions work. Okay, and when I say both directions work, I mean, what if they gave you this expression here, and you'll notice that the exponent is the same, 7. You could take this expression right here and then go backwards and write one fraction with the one exponent and simplify it from there. All right. Now it doesn't it doesn't help me in this problem, but you will notice during the homework it may help you to have one single fraction that could be reduced. Okay. So for this section, that's the 2 main notes that you need to copy down there. What's been highlighted. All right. Let's move into our example problems. Here we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and zoom in here. Same base. All right. Division, different exponents. So if this is what is being given, same base, different exponents using division means the top number subtracted by the bottom. And when I say top, I mean top exponent minus the bottom exponent, 12 minus 5. And then simplifying this to just x to the power of 7. All right. So that's what we're dealing with here with same base, division, different exponents means subtraction. Okay. And if that's what we're dealing with, then you take the top, subtract bottom. There, right there. Okay. And that is what it simplifies down to. Okay, can't go any further than that. So we are good. We're going to go ahead and move it on into the second example problem. Now, the reason why I wanted to show you this one is you have, it kind of looks like this number off by itself, all right? But it's really still over 1. And they're not going to write that, all right? Again, there still is an over 1 here. Okay, let's put that in blue because that was not given to us. We're going to put that in there. And if you're looking at a fraction multiplied by a fraction, you basically would just say, okay, I'm going to multiply straight across. Well, it's real simple. When you're looking at these guys both being 1, you could basically say we're going to cross those out. And we're going to put the whole fraction, 2 of them, together. So let's rewrite this as 4 to the 8th over 4 to the 5th. This is what this would work out to be. This whole fraction multiplied by 1, it's the same thing. So let's just move it over. That way, what we're now looking at is the same base, division, and then we got these different exponents, so we're going to subtract them. All right, so this is what we got now. 4 to the 8 minus 5. And that's just going to simplify down to 4 to the 3rd power. Okay, that is very, very nice to see when you have these 1s here. Okay, you multiply straight across, it really just starts to simplify itself. But you have to follow these example problems so you can see it. All right, let's do our third example problem. Now what you're noticing is 1 fraction in parentheses, all brought to the 2nd power, means really we're going to have to distribute that 2 to both parts of the fraction. So let's write that out. 9 to the power of 2 over 7 to the power of 2. And in this case, because we can't simplify the exponents, we will need to simplify the base values. And what I mean by that is take 9 and actually square it, getting 81. And then 7 and actually squaring it and getting 49. Then closing it up right there. Okay, so when given 2 totally different numbers, so here's your fraction, but then 1 exponent, distribute that exponent to both parts. Then simplify it further. All right, fourth example problem. We have an x on the bottom, we have a 1 on top. We're still given a fraction that we have to distribute an exponent to. So if we write this out, 1 to the power of 3 over x to the power of 3, this could be simplified. 1 to the power of 3 is 1. Like 1 times 1 times 1. It's all still 1. 1 to any big number, 1 to the billionth, doesn't matter. It's still 1. All right, over x to the power of 3. That cannot be simplified any further because x, we don't know what it is. So we leave it simply as x to the power of 3. All right, let's zoom in now on our fifth example problem. Okay, so now we're given a little bit more. All right, we have a coefficient 3, then we're dealing with 2 different variables. All of this is one big expression. If it's in parentheses, it's one expression. All of this is brought to the 4th power. That means that exponent on the outside must be distributed to everything on the inside. The 4 will go to the 3, the x, and the y. All of the different parts. So let's write that out. 3 to the 4th, x to the 4th over y. And let's remember, back in section 1, when you have an exponent brought to another exponent, you multiply those two exponents. So then you're going to have 2 times 4. I'm showing you all these steps. Take the time to write down all these steps. See it, hear it, learn it, and then you get it. Okay? All right. Now, because we're given a big expression, you do have to actually figure out what 3 to the 4th power is. Okay, so in other words, we're saying 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, so after you work that out, we're looking at 81. Okay, 81 is given from 3 to the 4th power. X to the 4th power, nothing changes there, over y to the 8th power. The 8 came from 4 times 2. I cannot go any further. So that's the finished product there. Okay. Last example problem. Here we go. Now we just keep getting it a little bit bigger. But the steps aren't really changing. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by this. This just became a big fraction. Slow it down. All right, break it down into parts that are a lot more manageable. All right, let's try to do that. So if I look at this right here, I can't deal with anything yet. This entire fraction right here, we're not going to deal with it yet because I see an expression in parentheses, an expression brought to the 2nd power. That I have to deal with first. The 2 is going to be brought here, here, and here. There's 3 different parts to this expression. All right, we will eventually deal with that fraction out front. So let's go ahead and put the 9x to the 5th and the 10y. We will deal with you, but not yet. Now, 7 to the 2nd power, 11 to the 2nd power, and x to the 2nd times another 2nd. Okay, because this is what we were given, and we had to distribute a 2 in to the expression. All right. Yeah, of course, not too much space left here. So let's simplify what we have. All right. Equals. All right. I might save some space here. Let's see if we can do that. Let's save some space. And yeah, all right. We'll save some space eventually. We're going to get 49. I'll have to do a little bit of erasing, and in your notes, maybe rearrange it best you can, over 121 x to the 4th. Okay, 7 squared is 49. 11 squared is 121, and x, 2 times 2, is x to the 4th. All right, now here's where I'm going to start to save a little space. I'm going to erase this, and we're going to move this over. There we go. Okay, saving a little space. Now we have some simplifying. Okay, we have some simplifying here where we can start to multiply and reduce all the way across the board here. Okay, so we have 2 x's, x to the 5th, and then an x to the 4th. Okay, with these values here, even though they are on 2 different fractions, they're still top and bottom. So we can simplify that, right? We can simplify that top to bottom expression. And that is going to give us a same base and then 5 minus 4, right? Same base, both are x, and then 5 minus 4. So if we can start to simplify that on top, we know that we're just going to be left with x, right? Because same base, 5 minus 4 is 1. They never write that one exponent. So we know we're going to have an x on top. You should see there's this lone y all by itself. Nothing to go with. That will stay on the bottom. Then we have to do our multiplication. And this is one of those things where, unfortunately, I don't actually see any cross reducing. So you actually have to do 49 multiplied by 9, giving you 441. Okay, then you got to do 10 multiplied by 121, giving you 1210. And this is now the final solution that we're dealing with. All right, now I know if you stuck with it and you got through all these example problems, thank you, good job. Write them down. And I know every student loves to rewatch these notes, I'm sure. But if you didn't get it, rewatch just the parts you didn't get. All right, ask questions in class. Have me do a couple example problems on the board. I would love to help. Take that ownership, all right? Fresh chapter, early on in the chapter. Learn it now. Take the time, and you guys got this. All right, see you in the next video.